welcome to the BGE Cloud Podcast. It is Friday. You know what that means. It's time for the Plus in Pageantry, and I am beyond honored to have the one and only my fairy godfather, Jimmy.
With my wand.
Here with your wand. And we're just going to have a nice little chat about the importance of, interview preparation for pageantry. As most of you know, the main categories in most pageant systems are going to be interview, evening gown, swim, or fitness. And maybe we'll have like a talent or something else where you get to show a little razzle-dazzle. I'm talking with one of the best when it comes to interview prep. Jimmy, welcome to the BGE.
Thank you. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm doing the background. So, Jimmy, how long have you been in the pageant world involved?
So I was talking with my older sister the other day, who lives in Chicago now, and she ran in a local pageant back in 1985.
Ooh.
I grew up in a town of 799 people, and there was a local 4th of July festival, and she ran for queen. And I was 14 years old, and I was sitting, where would you travel to? Who's your favorite celebrity? What do you like most about the town? I was 14. But I remember preparing, because I was 14 and I was a really big deal back then and I was the coach. But I remember preparing my sister for interview. We laugh about it now. And you guys, that was 40 years ago.
40 years in the game, you guys.
40 years. And this is what I always tell people. Everybody has something that makes them tick, that gets them out of bed, that they love more than anything. And until I met my son 5 years ago, pageants made me tick. I remember telling my mother when I was 10 years old that I didn't want to go to Bible camp in the summer, which was the highlight of my summer.
Right.
A week long at Bible camp. I got away from my siblings. It was Bible camp. It was fun. And I told my mother I didn't want to go because the Miss Universe pageant was going to be on CBS while I was gone, and I couldn't go to Bible camp. You guys, I was 10. I didn't even know how to tie my shoes, but I knew I couldn't miss Miss Universe. And my parents were like, what? And I'm like, gay. Hello. Right? But you guys, I have loved and been obsessed with pageantry since as far back as I can remember. It's my thing.
Oh, I love that. And one thing that I've noticed for people who have had a long stint with pageants in general,
right,
is that their love transcends the trends. Okay. And for you to be involved with interview, I think that's so perfect when it comes to pageant prep, because you see beyond what's trending right now, style wise or stage wise. You know the value of getting ready to answer those questions, no matter how they're asked or, in what cadence.
Right. And you know what, Amber, you know what I tell people? This is what I tell them. And in the Miss USA pageant, it's now 50%. Okay? It doesn't matter how beautiful, it doesn't matter how hot my body is, how big my boobs are, how flat my stomach is. It doesn't matter if my walk is fire. It doesn't matter if I spend $4,000 on an evening gown. If I do not get on the judge's radar in an interview, there's nothing I can do on stage that's going to overcompensate, because you can't compensate. You have to overcompensate because they didn't notice you. I can't overcompensate on stage because I didn't get on their radar in interview. I'm out. And one of the things that baffles me about contestants is they go to the gym. They spend all this money on photographs. They spend all of this money on wardrobe. And they neglect interview. And I'm like, it's first and it's 50% people.
And in more and more systems, it's becoming to be a more heavier weighted thing. So not just at Miss USA, wherever you go, you're seeing interview being 35, 45, 50%. Mm-hmm. So another thing is the times that we're in. At one point, yes, pageants were bred from swimsuit competitions, but right now Everybody needs a spokesmodel. So the ability to speak and capture a crowd is that value is only going to continue to grow.
You know why, Amber? Because I don't spend my year as Miss America in activewear or an evening gown. I spend my year going out and inspiring people.
Right.
So if I can't do it, if I can't come, like if you're a judge, if I can't come into an interview room and talk to you for 3 minutes about me, how would I expect you to think I can do it the rest of the year?
Exactly.
It's crazy. Amber, can we talk about how we know each other?
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Because I think people will be like,
so
right? It's a vibe thing. I'm very connected to Amber. I've met her once, and I'm like, hey, girl, hey.
I'm always down for a cute little like meet cute moment.
Do you want to tell the story about like 8 and 7 a.m. in Las Vegas, Nevada at the hotel?
That sounds scarier than it actually is.
I know, because we were sober and we were well rested. 7 a.m. Las Vegas.
So as some of you already know, I had the honor of choreographing the Miss Nevada pageant last year, in adjacent to the other pageants that I choreographed for Pageants Northwest. And I was absolutely nervous because I never met Shayna, and I'm one of those people.
I didn't know that part. You never met Shayna?
I never met Shayna. Maureen.
Shut the front door.
Maureen connected us like virtually, and I talked to her on the phone, but like I had never met Shayna. And I don't participate in a lot of pageant gossip, some of course, but like I knew she was a former like Miss USA, but I didn't know anything else about her. So when I met her, I instantly recognized her. I was like, oh my gosh, girl, you were on.
Did you meet her that morning?
I met her that morning.
Okay, so back up, y'all. Here's the deal. So interviews are held in the morning, but before the interview start or the judges get there, like the core staff gets there, and like you guys, we have to like set up the registration table, put out the cocktail dresses, like all of this stuff. So what happened is that Shayna was like, I need you and you and you here at 7 a.m. Can y'all please be here at 7 a.m. to help me? And Amber and I were like, sure. I didn't know that's so it's 7 a.m. in Vegas on a Friday morning.
Yeah. Showed up, face beat, okay? Waist was snatched, right? So I walked down, and Shayna's wearing sweats, which I was not expecting, but I love that for her.
But but girl, her face was beat, and they were expensive.
Face was beat. Period. And the thing about Shayna is like she was in one of my favorite episodes of CSI ever. And that was instantly the connection I made. And then of course the man with the plan was there. And when I tell y'all, me and Jimmy clicked like instantly.
7:15 in the morning.
7:15 in the morning. And I don't drink coffee.
And 3 other people.
Yeah. And we had this beautiful chocolate man. Bless his heart. He looked like he was maybe 20 years past retirement, but I
love him because
he was so great.
In the room.
Yeah, nobody had the key.
Get into the ballroom where registration and rehearsals and the interviews were going to be held.
Yeah, so somebody before I walked up, somebody was supposed to have been on the way, and they never showed up.
And that didn't happen. 7 a.m.
Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to call out the communication of that staff because that beautiful chocolate man.
Yeah. So that's how Amber and I met.
And now we're the best. Okay.
And here we are.
Here we are, spending our time with you, good folks.
Right. I'm sorry, Amber. We got a little off. Bunny Hill. Sorry.
But it's relevant because if I didn't have the energy and presence to hold a conversation with Jimmy, we wouldn't be here now.
Well, and that's the thing is that I don't want people, people go in and they're just like in the interview and they're like, I have to answer these questions and I have to answer them perfectly. And for somebody who's watching this podcast to be like, wow, they have a real connection. There's some prior history with the two of us, but because Amber is the person that she is, and I'm very comfortable in my own skin as well. When we met, it wasn't like, hello, how are you? I'm Jimmy Lee Langhoff. I'm one of the sponsors of the pageant. And she was like, hello, I'm Amber Bruce. I'm the choreographer. Nice to meet you. It was like, hi, girl. Good morning.
Good morning.
Can I hug you?
Yeah.
Can I hug you? I
Bring it
said,
in.
can I hug? And she was like, bring it in. It's
Every
that
time.
connection piece. In an interview, that's the thing. It's a connection piece. You guys think about, I mean, Amber, may I please? I know you
Go
didn't
for
ask
it.
the question, but you guys think about, this is what I always tell girls. Think about girlfriends that you have been friends with since kindergarten, since elementary school, right? You have all these girls you go to school with, but you gravitate towards these 2 or 3 people. Think about your favorite teacher, your favorite coach. When you go to family reunions, a favorite aunt, uncle, or cousin, why?
Mm-hmm.
What is it about that person?
That pulls
Why
you
do I
in.
have 75 girls in my class, but these are the 3 girls that I hang out with? Because of how they make you feel when you're around them. It's a connection piece.
Yep.
Anybody can walk in with an expensive outfit and $500 worth of hair and makeup and make it look really good and sound really good. Okay. But I don't connect with you. Like when Amber and I met, immediately there was a connection. You know why? Because Amber doesn't have any walls up. She's
Mm-hmm.
like, this is who I am. And if you like me, fantastic. Welcome to the club. Right, girl? But if you don't like me, that's okay too. That's
And
okay. I'm unapologetic about who I am. So you can't get wrapped up into what can I say
right.
to impress you. You know what I want you to do? I just want you to sit back into yourself and relax and have a conversation with me because
Yeah.
that's how I connect with people.
Yeah, like with the Nevada pageant, that pageant gets so much more press than our Pacific Northwest pageants. So, of course, being the case, I was so nervous. Um,
Oh,
and but I never wear my nerves, like I'm here to have a good time. So,
you were cool. Oh, you were. And there was a lot to do and a little bit of time because you guys, what you don't realize is with the Nevada pageant in particular, is that the rehearsals on one day are held on the south side of the strip,
hmm
but the pageant is held at the West Gate on the north side of the strip.
hmm
So it's and from a choreographer's point of view, I'm sure that's very uh, it's stressful.
Yeah, I mean, one thing about the choreography aspect is that you're trying to time your pageant,
Right?
so everything that you do has to have an allotted amount of time. And when you're in a ballroom, as opposed to practicing on a big
On
stage,
the stage. So
that,
yeah, so Amber is practicing with these girls. I have videos, girl, on my phone. So Amber meets these girls, and it's after interview, and they're practicing in a portioned off ballroom, and then the next day they're on stage in the Barry Manilow Theater,
hmm and
and then
so
it's like,
it's two totally different experiences. And a lot of these girls have never heard
wow.
of me, met me, or any or anything like that, and I have to come in and not only make a connection but also demand respect because these competitors, they're not
It's a
here to
show,
play. Yeah, so it's like we have to get
right?
to work, ladies. This isn't
But
tea
you
time.
know what, Amber? Yep. But Amber, and I don't know the exact conversation, but I remember talking to you at one point, and you were like, Jimmy, girl, I'm so glad that interview is out of the way because if interviews were tomorrow, these girls would be so up in their heads. So
hmm
what happens, you guys, is that they get there, they register, and then interview happens,
hmm
and then they go to Amber and they start. And it takes the air out of their tires, right, Amber?
Yeah,
Can you
absolutely.
imagine how distracted they would be? Like, you have to learn these patterns and you have to learn this opening number routine, but your interview is in 3 hours, right? And aren't you
It
glad
wouldn't
that Sheena strategically places it?
first. Yeah,
Can
absolutely.
you
Because
imagine how?
I would be as a former contestant, I would be stressed. Like having the interview first right out the gate, I think it kind of definitely adds a little sense of, well, it depends on how they did in their interview, right? So if they just went in,
But regardless of how they did in their interview, it's over.
yeah, more contestants than not, you're going to have that moment. But if they are like so hung up on that one question they couldn't answer, then they're going to be in the corner. Oh, haha. They're going to be in the corner
Ready?
their coach.
What's
Yeah.
this?
Is it going to do it? Oh my gosh, I love that.
Wait, there's one more. I think this is the sign. Look. Do it.
Confetti? Can I do it? Is it going to like... Okay, for those of you guys who are audio listeners,
you're like, what's going on?
I'm new to these like Apple.
Oh, these people are like, do I need to be here right now? What are
you should be here? It's a party. Oh, you did it.
Maybe you're a firework with glitter.
Oh my gosh, that was my first pageant like swim song. But anyway.
Okay, Amber, where were we? Okay,
so I'm really glad that
people know. I'm really glad that people know that you and I know each other, because otherwise they would be like, what is going on here?
They would be like, what did
Amber and I are connected.
Okay.
And how it goes back to, and you guys, how it goes back to interview is that Amber and I have seen each other once. We spent a weekend with each other. We're connected. You know why? Because we didn't have any walls with each other, and that's all that mattered. And I didn't spend any time with Amber. Amber, did I? No, because she was on stage.
Mm-hmm.
Amber, what is your next question, girl? I'm sorry.
So my next question is, when you are actually, let's ask a question for the girls. Are you currently taking clients?
Yes.
Okay, so Jimmy is currently taking clients, and what is kind of like the framework of how do you assess what someone needs when you are working with a new client?
Okay, so this was a very interesting year because all of the state pageants, usually in the USA system, usually the pageants go. No, I know you're a choreographer for Maureen. Mm-hmm. Hi, Maureen.
We love you.
Oh, such a beautiful soul. What a light she is. She likes to get her pageants out of the way early. So her pageants are usually in the fall.
Correct. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And Miss USA isn't until the summer. So Maureen has like 10 months to prepare these girls. But because of the powers that be and the chips that have fallen the way that they have, the Miss USA window, we have 51 girls to crown, and usually we crown them in 10 months. So there's a lot of room, right?
Mm-hmm. A lot of rope.
This year is an interesting year because now we have 5 months to crown 51 girls. And you guys, Miss USA is at the end of July. So Miss USA is March, April, May, June, July, 5 months away. And they're Maine, Maryland, and Tennessee have been crowned. So we have 48 more winners to crown in a very short amount of time. Amber, the reason why you're like, Jimmy, where are you going? The reason why I say that is because usually I have 10 months to work with all of these girls.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And now I have 5 months to work with all of these girls, which is why now I work weekends. Mm-hmm. I have to.
Yeah,
I will not say no. If a girl chooses me, there's lots of interview coaches to choose from. If a girl chooses me, I'm flattered, and I will make room for her. And I work 7 days a week. I do, because something's working. I mean, I've had 3 Miss USAs in a row. I've had 3 first runner-ups to Miss USA. Last year, or 2 years ago, I had the reigning Miss Teen USA. And my girl won Miss America, another pageant system. So right now, I'm the interview coach of Miss USA and Miss America.
Oh my God.
So my inbox is crazy right now. So how a girl gets a hold of me is go to my website, aqueensconversation.com. Mm-hmm. aqueensconversation.com.
queensconversation.com, folks. And one thing that you need to know, if you are just now getting a pageant coach or anything like that, in my opinion, as a competitor and spectator and in choreography, you're behind. Okay.
Amber, I have to interrupt you here. Okay, so this is so random, and please pick up where you went.
Yes.
You guys, this is the realness of what I need to see in interview. Okay. I have a dog that I'm dog sitting for, and they are on a piece of furniture that they are not allowed on right now.
Ooh. Let them know.
Philip. Damon, I have to call my son because I need my son to come down here and get the dog. Oh, she just jumped up. Dogs don't, in my house, yeah. Damon, never mind. I need you to take these pillows and put them on that chair because the dog is not allowed on that furniture. Okay, that's the realness. May I introduce my son?
Yes, please. I'd be so happy to meet him.
This is my son. Now, Damon, we're on a podcast, so behave. This is my son, Damon Philip Langhoff.
Hello.
And I told you earlier that until I met my son, nothing brought me more joy than pageants.
Absolutely.
And then this kid came along.
Damon, your dad is so special. And when I saw him at Miss USA, all he could talk about was getting back home to you. So I'm so happy to meet you.
You're gonna make me cry.
Don't cry. But that's the
honest I love
truth.
You. Oh, Amber.
I saw you for like
always get me with my son.
I saw you for like 3 seconds at Miss USA, and that's where we went. We were just.
I was like, there. I miss my son.
You were like, I'm ready to go see my son.
Oh my gosh. So Amber, what were you saying, sweetheart?
But I was saying that, with there being such a tight window, if this is your very first time, trying to get a coach or trying to compete, prep wise, you're behind what we would usually have available because it's so tight.
Well said.
However,
yes.
That does not mean that you should give up on yourself and not try. The help is out there. You just need to reach out to people like Jimmy, who have an expertise in this craft and can actually help shape and guide you in the right direction.
And Amber, the thing about it is this. So I work 7 days a week. Mm-hmm. It's pageant season, right? I'm booked out 3 weeks. Like if somebody were to go to my website right now to book a session, it would be the second week in April. And all I have to say is this. There are lots of interview coaches that would take your money and love to work with you. If you don't work with me, I'm completely okay with that. Mm-hmm. Right? Work with somebody.
Yeah.
Work with somebody. Because, when I came into this industry 8 years ago, I sponsored a lot of pageants. I gave a lot of free shit away. Pardon my language, girl. Amber, I gave a lot of free shit away. Because you know what I wanted to do? I wanted to establish myself in the industry. Mm-hmm. I charged $50 an hour. It worked.
Yeah.
It worked. Because I know that girls have to master and understand. You can't just walk into an interview room and be like, how hard can this be? How hard can this be? Well, Amber Bruce is coming in 2 girls after you, and she's worked with me for 3 months.
Better know it.
And she's gonna talk circles around you. But you go with God, girl.
I mean,
you know why girls do that, Amber? Because they don't know any better.
I mean,
they're coaches. What?
My first pageant, I went in completely blind. I didn't know how to fill in my own eyebrows at the time. Like, I was completely new to this.
Thank God they're on point tonight, girl.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yes. Free hand, no stencils. Okay.
I don't even know what that means because it's not my lane, but serve it, girl.
But, and actually my funny interview story for my first pageant, I went into interview with that. I think that when you're a judge, it's kind of refreshing to have somebody who isn't so rehearsed, right? So I went into my interview. I went all the way through. My last judge, a gentleman by the name of Macristo Bruce,
Okay.
who was asking me questions about my family, was like, "Oh, like, where are you from? And what's your family like? And oh, how's your Aunt Helen?" And I was like, my Aunt Helen,
What? Who are
she's
you?
great. And then he breaks it down and he finally goes, and us having the same last name meant absolutely nothing to me
Oh,
at the time. So yeah, so he comes through and he goes, "Well, I'm pretty sure I'm your cousin, and I don't think my scores are going to count for you." And I was like, "Well, that's so awesome."
right.
So,
Amber, may I ask you a question?
sure, absolutely.
As a pageant industry former title holder, choreographer to the stars now,
Absolutely.
I did. Okay, I have to tell you, I did not know that when I met you at 7:00 a.m. on that Saturday with Shayna, I did not know that you had just met her. I
Hmm.
that brings a whole. And you guys, you know what? I walked in. Here's an example. I walked into. I remember walking down the hall and seeing them. And I've known Shayna. You guys, I knew Shayna when she was Miss USA. I've known her since. I've known her that long. But I saw Amber and I was like, okay, who's this girl? Remember, you guys, it's 7:00 on a Saturday in Las Vegas. Nobody's sober, but
Yes.
we were, right?
Yeah.
I remember walking through the lobby, seeing people in like evening gowns and tuxedos, and I'm like, you guys have been up all night. I am
Yeah.
so glad I'm not you. But I walked in, and Shayna and Amber were having such a great conversation. I assumed that you guys had known each other for a long time. You know why? Because you guys didn't have any walls up. You were like, hey, girl, I'm here. What's up? The energy was matched. And like I said, I walked up to Amber. Shayna introduced me, and I was like, can I hug? Shh,
Come on, bring it in.
guys, it's an energy thing.
And
It's
I
like
love,
if I walk out of interview, it's like, as a judge, it's like, I like contestant number 17. Out of everybody, you like contestant number 17. Yep. Why? What did she say? You guys, it wasn't necessarily what she said. It was her. I liked her vibe. I liked her energy. Amber, we're talking. I'm going to speak freely about this because we talked about this before we started
the
recording,
recording,
which is no different, right?
right?
Um, well, you know what? No, you know what? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about this. So Amber and I actually talked for about 20 minutes before we started recording.
Absolutely.
Okay. And it was like, okay, girl, let me know when we start recording. And you guys, this is what I was like before we started recording. This is what Amber
Well,
was like before we, hey, girl, hey, what's
that's
up?
it.
What do you want? I mean, it was a conversation. And it was like, okay, girl. I mean, I sat up and I pulled my blouse down a little bit. I made sure my hair was fabulous and let's go.
Like, let's do
Right?
it. Yeah,
And you
absolutely.
guys, the reason why I say that is this. Remember what I just said about Amber and I 15 minutes beforehand. And I finally told her, I was like, Amber, go, we got to start this because we 11 o'clock, right, girl?
Yeah.
I was like, we have to start doing this. You guys, that's the thing. Because what happens is that girls go into interview and they're standing outside the interview room and they're like, what are they going to ask me?
Yeah.
What if I blank? What if I have to say if I don't? What if I have to say? What if I have to say I don't know? What if I fidget with my jewelry? What if I trip? What if I have the? What if I get the nervous giggles? What if I have a little bit of a panic attack? And I get up in my head and I believe the worst case scenarios. You know why? Because the negative stuff is easier to believe.
It's so easy. I think being backstage with contestants is one of like
Seen it?
the greatest honors of my life because
Oh,
I've always had such a calming energy. So if I can get you out of your head, whether it's right before an interview or right before you step out on stage, that just goes leaps and bounds for
It's
the contestant.
everything, isn't it?
It's everything, because I see these girls who, and a lot of them, mainly the returners, the girls who come back year after year after
Who
year.
put the pressure on themselves.
You know, they put the pressure on themselves and they're ready, but they get in their head. And a lot of it is, you know, being in the same room with their competition. You
Yep.
can see everything that that person is or has done as far as prep, but you're not able to acknowledge all that you've done. And, you know, you end up making yourself feel smaller, and you don't have to do that. If you put in the time and the effort, you just have to be confident and stand in.
Right. So Amber, the thing is like I said, they get just so up in their heads, and then they do this, Amber. There's the second runner-up from last year. Okay, who's this bitch over here who looks like me?
Mm-hmm.
And I feed it, and I prepared for this moment mentally for a month. And here we are in the 11th hour, and I'm feeding into the chaos and the nonsense. And I'm about to go in the interview room, and it's 50%, and I'm all up in my head. And I walk in the interview, and I'm living in my thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
And all of the shit that, pardon my language, girl, all the shit that I'm like, because, girl, let's keep it real. All the shit that I'm convinced is going to happen in the interview room, it never happens.
Nope.
But I convince myself that it's going. And so I work myself up into a small lather about something that's never going to happen. And I walk into the interview room, and you know what? You know what we do when we're nervous? We go into like autopilot.
Autopilot, absolutely, yeah.
Safe zone. And this is what I hear. And I wish I had my pen. I wish I had my pen as my... Oh, here it is right here. My little microphone. And this is what we hear. Because I fed into the worst case scenario. I'm up in my thoughts.
Right.
What are they going to ask me? What if I have to say I don't know? And I want to be a role model. I want to make a difference in my community.
I want to go to the schools.
It's been an amazing experience. I have great morals and values. It's always been a dream of mine. I want to take a step outside of my comfort zone. But what's the other one I heard the other day that I was like, okay, I'm done hearing this. Oh, I want to be the best version of myself. My family means everything to me. It's passionate. I want to empower women.
You and 50 other girls.
Amber, okay, but that's the thing that girls do not realize. Amber, thank you for saying that. You have to think about what it looks like from the judge's perspective, because you're standing up there and you're saying all the right words. But I've heard it 17 times already today.
Yeah.
And you think you're answering the questions and you're being unique and authentic and spectacular. And I'm sitting here going, girl, I've heard this 7 times already. And we're halfway through the interviews, and how many more times am I going to hear this? And then, but here's the thing, Amber, and you've seen this more than I have, and then you're pissed off you don't make top 5. Well, girl, you came into the interview room and you sounded like everybody else.
I mean, that's one
thing.
And
now you're mad?
The girls that
Amber, feed on that, girl, right?
The girls that don't place the way they want to, I am sick of seeing them come out of interview, absolutely sick, come out of interview, and the first thing they do is call their coach. And they're like, oh, they asked me a question I couldn't answer. And then they try to blame the coach. And it's like, you know, a coach is there to help and to guide, but it's up to you to perform, you know? So...
Girl, say it again.
You know, it's up
to you
to perform. A coach can give you the tools and everything, you know, to be successful in this game.
They're not going into the interview room with you.
They're not going to the interview room for you.
Oh, girl, Amber, you just went up to me. Bitch. You totally did.
I've been at this for a little bit. I ain't
Girl,
got 40.
obviously.
But
Oh
that's the
my God,
thing.
this is so fun.
But that's the thing. And it happens all the time. And the girls, they'll come out and they'll be like, oh, I guess they wanted blondes this year, or I guess they didn't want a black
No,
girl,
they
or
don't.
they
No,
like red
stop
this
it.
year. And it's like,
Y'all,
cut it out.
y'all, seriously, Miss World was just crowned.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you guys, they crowned a carbon copy. Not only, I don't know if you saw it, Amber, they crowned a Barbie doll, blonde hair, blue eyes. And not only that, they were from the same part of the world.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Last year, they crowned Miss World. Amber, beautiful. Okay. Last year's Miss World was a blonde with blue eyes from Poland.
Okay.
Poland? Not
Okay.
United States, not Thailand, not
Philippines.
Venezuela or Philippines? No,
Mm-hmm.
Poland. They just crowned a new Miss World. Blonde hair, blue eyes. Are you ready, Amber? She was from the Czech Republic. What?
Oh, okay. Okay.
Right?
No
Amber,
shade.
like you said, it's what you do that's separate from all of them.
I think we see pageant girls and women also, they hear something that does well and then they jump on it rather than trying
Copy
to
and paste.
like
That's original.
like my gripe is mental health. Like just slapping mental health on it does not make it a platform. I'm sorry.
Girl, everybody can talk about that.
But it was like, maybe 5 years ago, it was refreshing to hear somebody championing mental health. But mental health is like the new, like breast
It's
cancer.
common.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yep. Amber, I just told somebody today. I worked with a client earlier today because I told you I work weekends because I'm so grateful. Thank you to all of you. I'm so grateful that I have the business and that I get to get up every day and work every day.
Amen.
But I told somebody today, I was like, girl, stop saying that word. Empowered. 5 years ago, empowered was the word to say.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I like that word.
Empowered.
And now if I hear it, I'm like, yeah, like you're mad you didn't make top 5. Well, girl, you went into the interview and you sounded like everybody else. I want to be a role model. I want to make a difference in my community. I want to empower women. I'm very passionate about. And you think that you sound great.
Yeah, because outside
like everybody else.
Outside of that realm, outside of that arena, you do. Like all of those things can be true, but outside of the pageant interview space,
Amber, they are all true.
Yeah.
But you're a carbon copy of 7 other girls in this pageant. I have 25 girls that I'm interviewing. You guys, you have to look at it from what it looks like from the judge's perspective.
Like put yourself in the judge's shoes.
Yes,
if you're sitting there.
25 girls. Shayna Moakler walks into Miss Nevada USA to the judge's room and she's like, I'm looking for one. Out of a sea of beautiful, think about this, Amber. I'm looking for one out of a sea of beautiful women. One. Do your job. Give me the right girl. So I'm literally looking for a needle in a haystack. So I'm sitting here and girl, I don't care what your swimsuit. I'm not thinking about what your body looks like. I'm not thinking about how you paid $125 an hour to have the perfect walk. I'm not wondering if your gown is $2,000. All I know is that there's a girl standing in front of me, and can she do this or can't she?
Mm-hmm.
I am looking for a needle in a haystack, and you get in front of me and you open your mouth, and I'm asking you questions off of your bio. Who's your favorite celebrity? Tell me about your favorite movie. Tell me about the best book you've ever written. Why do you want to be Miss Texas USA?
It's
Amber, I know
that
you have a follow-up comment to that.
I do, and the
Of
thing
course
is,
you do,
of
girlfriend.
course I do, because you know what? If we're gonna go there, let's go
Girl.
there.
You
The
know why,
thing about
Amber?
it,
You know why, Amber? Because we're connected.
and that's it. It's always gonna go back to that. The connection is real.
Amber and I connected. You guys, let me give you an example. As I was saying what I was saying about I'm looking for a needle in a haystack, I knew that Amber was like, okay, girlfriend, I got something to say after you. I knew that. You know why? Because Amber and I have a connection. It's not, I lost my microphone again. It's not, Amber, ask me a question and I'll answer the question. And back to you, Bob. It's not a tennis match. You ask me a question, I answer a question. You ask me a question, I answer. Girl, stop it. It's a conversation.
And I think
Girl, tell me about your favorite celebrity. What's up?
I
What's up,
think
girl? Tell me about your favorite.
I think understanding how conversations work, I mean, surprisingly enough, is difficult for a lot of people as well, because I've been a judge and I've seen somebody, I've given them, I've put the line out, okay? And
Right.
they will not take my bait. And it's literally they're waiting for that next question to where it's like, give me more with your answers. These aren't yes or no questions. These
Give
are
me
open
something,
ended.
girl. Give me something.
Something where I can remember you, and when I see you on stage my mind can make that connection, like, oh, that's that one who she does kickboxing on the weekends because XYZ blah blah blah, like that thing that sticks out. But if you come in and you are sewing together what I've already heard 10 contestants before you: empowerment, read at schools, mental health, breast cancer. It's like those
Social
things.
media.
Teens with social media, small children and macaroni and cheese. I have heard it. I've
I'm
heard it.
done.
I've heard it.
I'm done.
So
I need
it's
you to stand out. I need you to stand
right.
out, and you're not doing that because you're sounding like the masses. Like you walk out of the room and you tell your mom, I answered all the questions. And as a judge, I'm like, yeah, but you sounded like everybody else. And girl, you're about to get your feelings hurt. One of the things that Amber and I talked about is that you guys, I have been to Miss USA, except for the COVID year.
Mm.
I have been to Miss USA every year since 1996. Y'all do the math, okay? And this is the thing about it is that I've been for 26 years. I've been to the preliminary competitions of Miss USA. And I'm this girl, Alabama through Wyoming, score 'em in swimsuit, score 'em in evening gown. And then I go back to my room and I add and I average and I rank order. Amber gets that.
I do it.
It's my it's what makes me tick. I love it. I love it. And then I have my top 10 or my top 15. And like, there's a girl that I'm like, she's fourth place. She could win Miss USA. And then they announce the top 15 and she doesn't even make it.
Well,
And I'm
Jimmy,
like,
why do you think that is?
because of her. Oh, Amber, look at you set me up, girl. Oh, girl. Oh my God. Because of her interview. I saw her in swimsuit. I saw her in evening gown. She was dominant on stage. She was wonderful. She had a catwalk. She had a beautiful gown. She's a beautiful girl. How did she not make even the top 15? Because she walked in the interview and she had nothing to say. But, Amber, here's the other thing. On the opposite end of the spectrum, right?
Mm-hmm.
I will sit there and I will watch Miss USA prelims and I will watch girls and a girl will walk out and I'll be like, okay. And she'll walk out in gown and I'll be like, okay.
All right. Yeah.
Okay. and then she'll make top 10 at Miss USA. And I'm like,
why do you think that is?
let me give you an example.
Mm.
So, y'all, I live in Wisconsin, an under the radar state, even though we've won Miss America 3 times.
Mm-hmm. You know,
And Alexis Loomis got second runner up to Miss USA this last year.
this year.
I love her. I've known her since she was 14. Oh, I adore her. But Connecticut has made top 10 at Miss USA the past 2 years. Totally under the radar state, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you guys, for 2 years, I have sat at prelims and have watched Connecticut walk out in swimsuit and evening gown. And I'm like, no. No. Girl, no. No. I'm a pageant fag. Nope. No. And they have made top 10 both years. Amber, why?
I would say it'd have to be their interview, Jimmy.
Right? Because you know what? At Miss USA, at that caliber, I expect you to be pretty. I expect your hair and makeup to be on point. And this is, you guys, this is more Amber's lane. I expect you to be pretty. I expect your hair and makeup to be on point. I expect you to be thin. I expect you to have a great walk. And I expect you to have a great gown. Right, Amber? I expect you to have that. So if I'm looking at a bunch of girls who have all of those things, and if you don't have those things, you're out, because I'm only looking for one. If you have all of those things, what am I going to go back to?
The tiebreaker. Can you speak?
Interview.
Mm-hmm.
You have to think about what it looks like from the judge's perspective. Amber, I'm so sorry. What's your next question, girlfriend? You're like,
No.
oh. See, you guys, this is the thing with Amber and I knowing each other. We have a conversation. We're girlfriends. It's comfortable. It's relaxed. It's a friendly banter back and forth. It's not Amber asks a question and I give an answer.
No. That would make me sick.
Difference.
I promise you, I would not be able to host a show like that, because if I'm inviting you on, like, I want us to get down to the nitty gritty. And I've had a few contestants on, and they've been so careful. And I'm telling you, this between us works because we know each other well enough to know that nothing is being said out of malice. It's just our opinion. These are our thoughts. This is how we feel in this industry. And throw a rock and you'll hit somebody that agrees. So
we want girls to realize the importance of connection.
Yeah, it's important. And it's just kind of like relax, because everything that Jimmy knows about this industry and he's grown his opinions about, everything that he says may not tick all of the boxes on my opinions and what I know. But where we're bonded is that we can share those thoughts without there being a problem. So
Amber, it's an energy thing.
Yeah,
it's
and it's just kind of like
it's a light, it's a connection, it's that indescribable feeling.
Yeah, well, Jimmy,
I can go in the interview and I can answer any question you give me. Well, great, congratulations. But I'm not looking for the class valedictorian. I'm looking for I'm looking for a brand ambassador. I'm looking for a girl with a lot of personality that can connect with, that can in the morning sit in a kindergarten class and read a book, and then over lunch meet with the business sponsors, and then end her afternoon playing bingo with senior citizens.
Yeah, go into the evening on a red carpet. Like, you have to be multifaceted, in order to.
I need that girl. But you know what I need, Amber? I need the same girl. I need the same girl.
I think one thing that you said a little bit earlier was just about talking about that contestant that comes in under the radar, whether they themselves are kind of an understated contestant or if they're coming from a state. Like before we
Right.
got on, we were talking about my dear Samantha from Washington. When you think pageants, a lot of time, Washington does not really come up in the conversation. We're over here, we're in the mountains.
I live in Wisconsin. We're under the radar.
Yeah, so we're under the radar. Our pageants don't get the same level of press as the New Yorks, the Californias, the Nevada pageants, Texas, Tennessee. We don't get that same kind of press up here.
Amber, what did Samantha do from Washington to get on the radar? Because I never worked with her. What did she do?
I think she was just a real genuine, warm presence. Everyone she has met that has gotten back to me that she's met them,
yes,
they've had nothing but great things to say about her. She's captivating.
Her aura, she's captivating. Her aura, her light, her energy. Thank you.
Spot on. And that's what we're looking for. And I will say, just a shout out to my W's out there. Washington has been pushing out face cards for years.
We talked about this before we started recording.
We did, and I'll stand all 10 toes on this, okay? We've been pushing out. We have been pushing out face cards for years. Okay.
Girl, she's not only gonna push it out, but she's gonna be like, guys, she gonna put her girls up front too.
You know what I'm saying? Let's go. Usually people have to pay to get the view. But
you naughty girl. I love it. But Amber, you know what it is? But you know what you said that? But see, you said a lesson for the girls that are listening. She said that, and you know what? She has my attention. Because now that she dropped her walls and was like,
hello.
Hey, now I want to see what she has to say. She has captivated my attention.
It's all about drawing people in, you guys. Like, I don't flash people. Don't
right,
people.
Amber. And I could give a shit what you're about to say. Amber, I could give a shit what you're about to say, but you know what? You've got me. And you know why you've got me, Amber? Because you drew me in.
Yes, because the girls are real. Okay. No,
okay, what's up with nails? Okay, now show the girl, how do you okay, I'm not a black girl. Amber, how do you function with those nails?
So the key, Jimmy, is that you have to start short and let them grow. Don't just go to the salon and get outlandishly long nails.
Don't tell me those nails are real.
Oh, so mine aren't fully real. I'll show you under my nail. So mostly.
Oh, wow. That's impressive.
So when I got them done, I put that tip on and I was like, okay, we're going to let them grow out. And so my nails do two things. So they grow long, but they start to curve after a while.
Right.
After a while. So I have 90 stripper nails and I'm okay with that.
Because you own that. Because you own that, girl.
But one thing,
Amber, what's a suggestion you have for girls? Let's talk about this. Not my lane. Nails for pageant weekend.
Nails for pageant weekend. It depends on the girl, I feel.
No, girl, give it. Okay, that's Amber.
No, I'm going to be honest.
That's such a safe answer.
I'm going to be honest because I am this. When you meet me pageant weekend, there's not going to be a persona or facade up. This is me. So my nails are part of my expression. That's how I present myself. So I'm going to my pageant with long decorative nails because that's who I am. But if you're someone who you have not long nails because Cardi B has long nails, it's not going to track for you. It doesn't tie in to how you're presenting yourself. It looks out of place.
But Amber, and for me, if I was a judge and you walked in with those hooker nails, I would give you a 0.
But me, I'm willing to take that risk because this is me. This is who I am.
And you guys, and there you have it.
So.
And Amber, I just did call you a hooker nails. And you know what? You guys, here's the thing. I just said hooker nails. And you guys, you notice how Amber didn't even react? She's like, okay, girl.
All right, that's you.
Right? You know why? Because Amber is okay with who she is. Okay.
But that's the thing. I'm also check some other boxes. I'm also a black and curvy contestant. I have never been a size.
Amber, you flipped my rainbow, girlfriend.
Honored. Absolutely honored. Jimmy! But you know what I'm saying? So I'm a black and I'm a curvy contestant.
Mm-hmm.
And those mean different things in different systems. So, you know, it's very important that I'm self-assured and I know who I am.
Oh, there it is right there. Thank you.
Yeah, because I mean,
Amber, what other question do you have? Because we've been on the phone for an hour. I mean, I don't have anywhere to be, but what other question do you have?
Let's see, specifically, Jimmy, let's ring it in. Let's go ahead and
let's rein it in.
Let's rein it in. Let's try.
We are so outside of the box right now because, girl, I teach girls in Amber. Shut up, Amber's laughing. Amber, I teach girls in interview. I'm like, girls, stay right here, right here. Amber, you and I right now are in Antarctica. We're with the penguins, girl. We are so outside of where we need to be.
But here's the thing: when we are on track, we're on track for about 3 to 5 minutes, and that is your average pageant interview. Thank you.
Oh my God.
That's it.
But you know what, Amber? You know what I think people will love about this wonderful podcast that you have? They'll be like, oh my God, that's so entertaining. They were so real. They were so honest. It was so like talk showish comfortable. Well, which is exactly how you need to be in your interview.
Hello? It keeps coming back to the same point, guys. Well, Jimmy, okay, how about this? Let's get what's a pageant hot take that you have? Like what is an unpopular opinion?
I don't know what that means.
Okay, what's like an unpopular opinion that you have, like about pageants? And if you want, we can flip it to how do you feel about the...
Yeah, I need you to flip this pancake, girl.
We're going to flip it.
Because I'm sitting here thinking, and I'm like, what do you mean?
So,
and by the way, girl, if a judge asks you a question and you don't know what it means, don't sit there and freak out. Be like, I'm sorry, can you say that again, or what do you mean? Don't ask them immediately.
Yeah.
Like you just asked me a question, Amber, what do you mean? What do you mean by that? I have no, and I'm an interview coach. I'm a champion. Let me show you how it's done. I have no idea what the hell you just asked me, girl.
So, a hot take or unpopular opinion. What I mean by that is, how do you feel about, like, for example, how do you feel about the no age restrictions or plus size pageants or like?
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, girl. Well, then you should have asked your girl that. You should have asked your question better.
Oh, thank you.
You know what I think? I think it's gotten out of hand.
Okay.
I think that if transgender, as a gay man, as a member of the LGBTQ community, I think if you live your life as a woman, I think if you have had the wonderful experience of having a child or getting married, and that restricts you from being Miss USA, I think that's unfortunate. Mm-hmm. I support that aspect of it.
Okay.
The age restriction, I do not support.
Okay.
I don't. And I will tell you why. Because as Miss USA, if I'm a freshman in college at the University of South Carolina and I walk into the interview room with a 35-year-old girl, there's a big difference between me being a freshman in college and a 35-year-old, I don't think it's fair. And if there were not Mrs. Pageants or older lady pageants out there, there are. I think there needs to be restrictions. I think there needs to be a limit, and I think with the especially with the age restriction, I think it's turned into a PR stint more than it has anything else, and I think it's lost its specialness.
Oh, well, we know. We all saw the video. We know.
I think and since I wasn't going to address the video, but now that oh yeah, we'll let married women, we'll let mothers compete, we'll let 35-year-old women compete. They can't win. Well, then why the hell would I compete? Like, it's just, I think it's ridiculous. I think if you're a 35-year-old woman who lives in Nebraska and you have a kid and you want to compete in a pageant, I think Mrs. America or Mrs. United States is a great pageant for you. Miss USA?
I think, so for me...
What do you think, Amber? Because, girl, I know you're going to tell me your opinion regardless.
Regardless, whether you asked or not.
I feel.
I've said it a few times on the podcast here. I've gone back and forth with it. Initially, I did not care for the age restriction. As a plus size person, I definitely want to see more body representation.
You're plus size?
Oh, yes. I am 220 pounds and a size 16 on a good day.
Okay, no. Okay, I do remember that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know you were that big, girl. Girl, you're like me. You're Spanx from stem to stern.
Oh, well, I'm strong. It's mostly muscle.
Ah!
So for me, I struggled with it.
Click.
So for me,
would you really wear those nails in pageant interview?
Now, would I go to my pageant with cow print nails? No. I would probably do like a soft ombre, like from pink to white, or solid color.
Let's step outside of interview, but it is interview because I'm telling you, if I'm a judge in the interview, like cow print nails and long nails, that would be distracting to me.
I've never gotten negative feedback in interview. No, and I'm soft brag. I've never gotten.
But you're also not in the USA system, girl. I mean, you work very closely in it, but
I work very closely in USA. So, I mean, ladies, take note. Okay, my nails are a good inch off my nail bed. So this may not be it for USA. You might want to cut them down, but I would do like more of a French ombre situation. I would not go in.
There it is.
Patterned.
Thank you. Neutral.
Yes. Like a neutral or no. Yeah. I was once asked about my nails and I told the judges, I said, oh, actually, it's a little preview of what my evening gown is going to look like tonight. And
Did you scare them? Did you scare them? They're like, oh, shit.
The judge asked
girl,
me.
But Amber, you know what it was? You told the judges, I am who I am.
I am who I am. This is me. So it's just kind of like,
if you love me, I'll win. And if you don't, that's okay, because I will continue to be who I am. What's up?
It's like, I'm here to do the work. My nails don't stop me from doing this job. My dress size does not stop me from doing this job. Okay, so let's get into it. But yeah, age restriction was hard for me because I was like, well, it's like a rite of passage, like going to the prom, or
it is.
You know what I mean? Like you do it when you're younger and then you move on. Now I've seen some women who are, for me, I've mostly seen women who were just too old. I haven't seen a lot of 35, 40 plus women come back in our states.
Amber,
Um,
at Kentucky, USA, last weekend, there was a 60-year-old woman.
oh,
And you know what? And you know what I thought? You go, girl.
I
Get it.
mean, get it, girl, because I
Girl,
want to be that
get it. I
confident.
would tell her to get it, but she already got it. And I have to tell you that I had to go back and watch the introduction because I didn't know that. And then I found out about it after the pageant. And I had to go back and rewatch. And I could tell who she was the second time around, but I didn't. And she didn't look 60 years old.
I
But girl,
mean,
here's the other thing. I think that, like in Tennessee, because you asked me about the age restriction.
mhm,
So there was a girl in Tennessee, USA, it was last weekend.
mhm.
Queen's Conversation had a double winner, by the way.
Oh, congratulations.
My client, Amber, if you followed me, you'd know that.
I do follow you. Don't come at me like that, Jimmy.
Oh, girl, I just did.
I was being cute for the podcast.
She
Okay. I liked the post. I liked the post.
Girl, let me put the hostess in check. But you guys, just right there, you see that, like, oh my God, that could have been uncomfortable. Girl, it's all good. All
Safe
good.
place.
You know why? Because Amber is who she is, and I am who I am. Drop the walls. Drop the walls.
Hate it or love it, Monday
Right.
through Sunday.
Amber, what was that? See, I'm so distracted. Amber, you drive me to distraction.
It's all love.
Tennessee, USA. What was it?
Oh, so we were talking about the age restriction, and you said
Oh,
yes.
right. And the thing about it is that just going back to what we said, one of my girls at Tennessee, USA was asked about the age restriction.
Mhm.
And the thing about it is that when you get a controversial question, Roe versus Wade, student loan forgiveness, recreational marijuana, immigration, financial literacy, all I want to hear is how you feel about it. I can disagree. You could tell me that Donald Trump is the greatest human on the face of the earth. I will completely disagree with you, as Amber would as well. Okay, girl, because you're black, girl.
And a woman, you know.
And a woman, and we're done. But you know what? I'm looking for conviction.
I mean,
I don't have to believe what you say, because so many girls get wound up in the current event. I don't have to believe it, but you know what? If you believe it, I'm good.
yeah.
Right, Amber?
Yeah, I mean,
good. Because you believe it. I don't believe it. I think you're full of shit. But you believe it, and I admire that about you. No, Amber, don't cry.
I know it's like, I know, like, I've been asked by a judge how I feel about plastic surgery when that judge has obviously had plastic surgery. Like, you know,
Girl, tighter than a snare drum.
yeah. Like, what do you think? What is your opinion on the current state of the world in plastic surgery?
Yep.
Like, I'm like, if you got the money, girl.
Amber, you know what? A lot of people ask me, where do I go with current events? And this is what I always tell them. I always tell every single time. So you have to always lead with compassion. A woman having an abortion, a gay man adopting a child. Hello. Thank you for letting my son be a part of this. That was really.
I love that. I'm glad he came up.
Recreational marijuana, immigration, gun control. Why are they asking me that? What do I need to say? You know what I want you to say? I want you to say whatever you feel. I do not believe in student loan forgiveness. I don't think that as a taxpayer, I should pay for your student loan. You buy a car, you get a car note. You buy a house, you get a mortgage. But if you believe in student loan forgiveness and you believe that the taxpayer should foot the bill to invest in the future of America, you believe that. You guys, the thing about it is that, again, a woman getting an abortion, a gay man adopting a child, a transsexual competing in the pageant, student loan forgiveness. Just tell me how you feel. And you know what it is? It's this. You know what? As long as they're not, let people, you guys, again, let people live their lives.
Mm-hmm.
If a transsexual wants to compete in a pageant, if a gay person wants to adopt, if a woman wants to have an abortion, if somebody wants to smoke marijuana on their front porch, I mean, Amber, you know this.
Yeah.
You're so let people do what they want to do.
My thing has always been, it's not going to take any seconds off my life for that person to make that decision for theirs. Like,
yes.
The things that we fret over.
Right, Amber. But girls get so obsessed with, what if they ask me a current event question? Well, then tell them how you feel.
Well, I love
always lead with compassion. Like immigration is a really big thing right now. Yeah. Lead with compassion.
I always like pageants that don't announce the judges until like the last minute, because I know that girls go and they try to research the judges.
Oh, Jesus, like, Mary and Joseph. I don't.
Amber, it makes no sense.
Oh, so Amber, I'm glad you brought that up. I don't get that. So you're going to change your answer because this man is a teacher? So you're going to change your answer because this woman has been a volunteer for the American Heart Association for the... Bitch, please.
But, I mean, these are still people.
Don't care. Don't do... Oh, my God.
They're coming to
Amber, I'm sorry. I took a moment away from you. What were you going to say? I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. But they're coming to get to know
I know, because Amber, I thought I was the guest, not you.
Well, you know what? I like to talk about me as you know, when I get ready to come out of retirement, I'll be well practiced talking.
You're like, Jimmy, first runner up. I'm talking.
I'm reclaiming my time.
Bitch, my podcast, my time. But you know what, Amber? But the current event, because that's something that girls are like, well, when I make top 5 and they ask me a current event question, I'm like, okay, first of all, you have to get there.
Yeah.
And all I want to hear is your opinion, whether I agree with it or not. So what were you saying about that, Amber?
I'm saying that, you know, don't try to, if you are in one of those systems where they announce the judge's head first, don't try to change your answers to suit the panel, because
you're changing who you are.
Exactly. They're there to get to know you. They know who they are. They don't need you to reflect that.
They're good, girl.
You know, and it's just kind of like one of those things. There's so many little old school, I don't even want to say old school pageant tropes, but they're just like these lingering superstitions about pageantry and how it should be done. And I just think we're all people. So put yourself in the judge's position. Yep. If you heard somebody echoing back your bio, don't you think you'd be able to recognize that?
So. And remember, again, put me first, put me in the middle, put me last. Give me one-on-one with each judge. Give me panel. Give me all women. Give me all gay men. Give me all black. You're going to get the same person regardless. I'm not going to feed into who the judges are. Doesn't matter. You're going to get me regardless who the panel is. You're going to get the same me, regardless of who the panel is, or if I go first, middle, or last. Don't feed it. You know what that is? That's feeding into strategy and nonsense.
I like, this is what you get.
I mean, Lord. And that's what girls do. They feed into the shit that isn't important. Don't do that.
Don't do it, ladies, because we love you. Me and Jimmy love you. And Jimmy, before I keep you here all night, please tell everybody.
I know I do have to go. I do have to go because you guys, I haven't. And Amber, you know, if you want to get me to talk about something that'll make me roll over and see the soft underbelly, get me to talk about my son.
Now
and thank you for letting me introduce him. But Amber, I forgot about the fact that when we got to talk, you were like, okay, I've been in Vegas for 2 days and I'm ready to get back to my son. Amber, thank you for saying that. That's what he means.
It was like, yeah, I remember running into you in the
got
lobby.
That.
Yeah, and we talked about it in Vegas, and then when I saw you at Miss USA in passing, you were just like, I'm ready to go see my son, and that stuck with me. I thought that was so beautiful.
And you guys right there. So the only thing that Amber remembers about me is that I wanted to get home. I'm at the most extravagant event of the year. I'm on the other side of the country. I paid all of this money to be there. And you know what Amber remembers about me? That I wanted to get home to my son. She doesn't remember anything else. And you know what? If there's one thing that I want Amber to remember about me, is that I love my son. You guys, and this is what he does to me. Oh my God. But right? That's what,
beautiful.
You guys, it's not what you say. It's you guys, you have to connect with the judges on a personal level. Drop the walls, drop the shit, open up and let me in. That's the connection piece. A lot of girls will walk in and make it, and Amber has seen it. They look really good and they sound really good. And Amber's like, you're in trouble, girl. Like Whoopi Goldberg in Ghost. You're in danger,
you're in danger, girl.
You're in danger, girl. Because Amber, you've seen it. It's like, you have to connect with these judges. And the first step is to know what you're going to say and who you are. aqueensconversation.com.
And where can they follow you on social media?
A Queen's Conversation.
That's good marketing, people. You don't have to go to multiple places. It's all under one.
Girl, I keep it simple because I can overcomplicate twist ties.
Tell me about it. But
Amber, I love you, girl.
Love you.
Okay, I have to ask you off the record. So the number you text me from, is that your number?
No.
833 number?
No. That's just the Squarespace app. I will text you, or I'll text you my direct number.
There we go.
But Jimmy, I have loved having you on. I'm going to end the recording. Everybody,
how fun was this?
This has been the BGE Cloud Podcast, and that BGE stands for Big Goddess Energy, y'all. Thank you, Jimmy. I forgot to ask you. Oh my goodness.
What? Oh my God.
I ask all my guests when they are visiting me how they tap into their big goddess energy. Jimmy, what do you do to tap in to your big goddess energy? Have you ever tapped into your big goddess energy?
Amber, I can answer that question. Every morning I sit right over there. It's usually between 6:30 and 7 o'clock. I drink my coffee and I stare out the window.
I love that.
And you know what I do? I don't think about anything.
You just
I have a 55-pound black lab named Belle, and I take her on a walk. I have a wood. I live in Wisconsin, so I'm a little bit country. I walk her in the woods, and I watch her sniff everything, and I watch her wag her tail, and I talk to the good Lord above. I do that every day. And as y'all have met, I have a son named Damon Philip Langhoff, and he fills every corner of my life with joy. So any moment I can spend with him is great. And you guys, it gets me out of my head. It removes the chaos. And by doing all of that, I remember that I'm a diva. That God gave me a talent, and I'm really good at. Don't ask me how to change your oil. Don't ask me how to win a football game. But if you ask me about how to walk out of an interview and win a pageant, I am your person, because I can make you realize the inner diva in all of you.
I feel like a better contestant just having this conversation.
How was that for an answer, Amber? I got done, and even I told myself, I was like, Jimmy, that was really good.
Well,
Well,
I'll send you the sound bite.
Amber, you know why? Amber, just to let girls know, you know why? You guys, I didn't think, I just felt.
It's important, y'all.
I just felt. Amber asked me a question, and I was like, let me paint her a picture and tell her a story. My dog, my son, prayer and meditation. I just kind of walked her through what I did. And
that's what the girls
want to hear. What does Amber want to hear? What does Amber want to hear? And you know what Amber's thinking? I want to hear whatever the hell you want to say to me.
That's it.
Like, there's no right answer. Just open up and let me in.
I agree, friends.
You get it, girl. You get it.
Awesome. Well, Jimmy, thank you so much. I'm gonna cut it.
I know, because we'll be on here until morning.
I was gonna say, you can stay. I'm gonna end the recording. You can stay. Thank you all. Have a great one. Bye.
Have a wonderful week ahead.